So I just left the house to go pick up my kids. And 10 minutes later, I got a motion alert from Ring. My alarm was going off. I open up my app and there's this guy running out the front door. I didn't know who he was. Before I could do anything, I got a call from Ring.
This is Jordan with Ring Alarm Monitoring. I'll send the police right over.
My name's Nadine, and Ring helped save my house from a break-in.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/safety. That's ring.com/safety.
For tank and tankless hot water heaters, for clogged drains, for leaky faucets, for toilets that won't flush. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is your trusted source to solve all your plumbing needs. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Hey, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 15 and episode number 3306. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, it is the random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: water sports and the WWE. Not that kind of water sport. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack, drinking a drunk.
All right, here we go. New York State man is busted for driving drunk at a high rate of speed, dumping the buggy he was in, and injuring the horse. Meanwhile, a girlfriend tells her boyfriend she will only have coitus if her friends can join in the fun and intercourse. Man in park practicing social distancing gets pepper sprayed in the face. The world's most identical twins plan on making the world an uglier place. And Ohio County Fair, did you see them as a go?
I did.
By asking people to stay one cow apart. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, since the COVID shutdown began months ago, the sale of sex dolls and sex toys has exploded. And I think we all know why. Just because you're alone does not mean you're not horny. But even during this pandemic, not everyone needs the toys or the dolls. For example, in Australia, the world's, quote, most identical twins, they plan to get pregnant at the same time by the same guy. But it's not as sexy as it sounds. They plan to freeze their eggs for a later date. But in the meantime, they are, in fact, a throuple. And yes, I hate the word throuple. Now, in England, a young man is looking for advice because his girlfriend only wants to have sex with him if her friends are allowed to join in. All 3 of her friends. That's right, 1 dude, 4 women, and he's having a problem with that. Whatever. We all have problems. For that guy, it's too many women at a safari park in London. The problem is baboons that are carrying knives and chainsaws. Now, the working theory is that guests have been arming the animals, quote-unquote, for a laugh, because they like to attack cars, hee-hee, ha-ha, but apparently this is a freaking problem. I've seen Planet of the Apes. Now, these are just some of the stories that we've come across, and it's stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we will ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we'll share with you the news story that inspired said question.
Be a part of the big show on the random question. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. Text 77999 and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
I was at home and I get this call from Ring.
We just received a fire alarm. All okay?
My fire alarm in our cottage was going off. And then it hit me. My parents are at the cottage. The fire had started in the chimney and spread to the roof. Ring Alarm Professional Monitoring dispatched the fire department before we even could dial 911. My name is Kevin, and Ring Alarm helped save our family cottage.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/Odyssey. That's ring.com/Odyssey.
The motto for world-class competition has always been faster, higher, stronger. It's the same for Navien, makers of condensing tankless water heaters. Faster to install and set up. Higher performance and efficiency to provide endless hot water. Stronger with the industry's strongest warranty. All because of the copper-free stainless steel heat exchanger built in every unit. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com. That's tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 15, Episode number 3360 for the Large and the Charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat as the exciting return of your guess is as good as mine coming up. Categories today will be, since we're here finally the summertime, we have the top 10 water sports.
All right.
And the top 10 WWE wrestlers of all time.
Ooh.
All right.
That's tough, man.
Wrestling and water coming up on Your Guess is as Good as Mine. And today is the day that we do our random question. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello. Kevin, welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello.
Hola. Kevin, welcome to the program. Random question. You surviving the heat out there?
What's that?
So are you surviving the heat?
Oh, yeah, considering that I was shoveling duty bark all day today.
Duty bark?
What is duty bark? Is that dog ass?
Landscaping.
Oh, okay.
Well, when the bark goes down, it definitely has a smell of crap. Like, you can notice it from, like, blocks away when your neighbor puts down some new mulch, you know?
That is for sure.
There's one thing worse.
Oh, can't say that one.
Once again, Men's Room Colors, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
Now, where do you say they put this stuff again?
In garbage cans.
Yeah, I hate when people do that.
Not what they're supposed to, and so when I'm spreading the bark, you catch a whiff, they'll put you down.
Okay. Good times. All right, let's see here. What do we got for you as a random question? Okay, since we're talking about your job right now, being a landscaper, what else would you say that you are qualified to do if for some reason you didn't work in landscaping anymore? You quit this job, you left it or whatever. What would be something that you could do besides being a landscaper?
Machinist.
A machinist. And how long did you
I
do
did
that?
It for 10 years.
Okay.
I did it for 10 years.
Were you just tired of being inside and said, hey, you know what? I would rather work outside if I'm going to do this kind of stuff?
I'm a diabetic, and just standing on my feet was doing me no good, and walking around and exercise is the best thing for me.
Okay.
How many steps do you get in a day with your landscaping job?
Oh, I'd say with this complex that we're doing right now, it's over like 70 to 80 acres. I'd say I would get it in like about 10 miles a day.
Okay.
Damn.
That's a lot. It's probably 15,000 steps a day. Have you lost any weight since you're working outside?
No, I'm pretty skinny. If I lost any weight, I wouldn't be able to wear pants.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Hey, it makes your penis look bigger. You know what I mean? That's a bonus for that. Reason we asked, what else are you qualified to do if you quit your day job? We know, Mike, for a fact, if the auctioneering world were still going on, you'd be making some change that way at least, right? Yeah. That's something you can do. The NFL, they say, has about 1,700 players. One of them is also a medical doctor. His name is Laurent Tardif.
That's a player?
And he's an offensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs. He is the only active NFL player with a doctorate with a medical degree. He graduated from McGill University Med School in 2018, and he's been treating COVID-19 patients in the offseason And now he became the first NFL player to opt out of the upcoming season.
I thought he diagnosed his own concussion.
Yeah, he has been working on an orderly
so the doctor doesn't want to play?
At a care facility in Canada the last few months, and it's had a major effect on me. He says, quote, being in the front line during the offseason is giving me a different perspective on the pandemic and the stress it puts on individuals, on our healthcare system. I cannot allow myself to potentially transmit the virus to our communities simply to play the sport I love. He thinks that the Chiefs medical team has a good plan in place to minimize risks. However, he's not going to take that. Sitting out means his finances will take a bit of a hit, but he's still a doctor. So instead of his $2.8 million base salary, guess what he'll make on the Canadian healthcare system as a doctor?
$100,000.
$150,000.
Oh,
okay.
So he went from $2.8 million
nice.
to $150,000. That's something pretty nice to fall back on.
Yeah, when your B job is a doctor,
Right,
I think
exactly.
you're doing all right.
Like, what the hell, dude?
By the way, someone pointed out, they said, guys, it's beauty bark, not duty bark, you city people.
No, it's duty bark. Have you smelled it? It smells like duty. I mean, it makes the whole neighborhood smell like crap.
Like duty.
It makes it smell like duty.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah, duty.
Random.
We're having this conversation the other day, explaining like kids have substitute words for different things. So there's duty, there's poop. You get a little older, maybe it's crap. About what age does it become an S? Because same thing like when you were born, if you're a boy, all right, you have a penis. And then maybe that changes to my winky, my privacy, whatever. But at some point, by the time you hit like 13, it becomes a D.
I think as soon as you have friends and you have sleepovers,
it becomes S?
I think you got to take an S, and I think it's your D.
I don't know,
long as
man.
you got, like, I think
Because my kids
fourth, fifth
have-
grade.
Maybe.
Oh, I think it's much older.
Do you?
Like, I mean, your D
I feel
becomes
like
a D, but I feel like once you're out of high school and you can curse more, that's like the first house I lived in with everybody else, like out of high school. That was the first time I think I used it.
Really?
But did your family talk to you differently than they talked to everybody else?
I mean,
So
my
in
parents
other
did
words-
like there are stories my parents will share with me now, and I will remember the moment, but I didn't quite hear the conversation. I remember them having a conversation, and my mother will explain the words that were actually said, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" And she's like, "Well, we wouldn't do that around you, but like." When I got into my teens, I could refer to my D as my D. My
Right.
son right now, it's still his privacy, but he has discovered he now has nuts. That's what
Oh,
we refer.
okay.
And I'm like,
All right.
okay, and then they're going to turn into bees when he gets older, right? Because he plays soccer and he had gotten hit. And I said, it was after the game. I said, man, you went down pretty hard during the games, like last year, year and a half ago. And it's like, man, it hurts like that. Ball hit me right in the nuts. And it's the first time I was like, oh, well.
That's going to hurt.
Well, I told him, I said, here's the good news and the bad news. And it's the same information. It doesn't matter how old you get. You're still going to drop like that if you get hit in your nuts.
I had an incident over the weekend. It was the first one that I've had in a long time where I was just shaken to the core. I hit a bump going about 40 miles an hour on my scooter, and it lifted me off my scooter, and my boys just went, swam! And I'm like driving down the road going, how manly is it to get racked on a scooter?
It's not.
It's not at all. It's not at all. Well, I grew up in an Italian, my stepfather was Italian, so the family was all Italian. And when you're a kid, you are a J.O. From the moment you walk in, where are those guys at? Oh, they're probably out there in the back in the shed, J&O. Hey, J.O.s, get in here. So, like, the whole thing, like, they talk to you like they were talking down to you constantly.
Right.
And just busting your B's all the time. So the words that they used F-bombs. I mean, we understood that we could not use them. Hey, you
that's the
effing J.O.s. Where are them effing J.O.s at? Tell them to get the...
Now, that's the
Tell
difference.
them to get their asses in here. Blah, blah, blah.
I can say, like this morning, kids go, there's a book they need to read, and I get it. Summer work for school sucks, blah, blah, blah. Not my problem. Goes back and forth. Finally, before I said, man, just read the effing book. I'm like, just read the effing book. That's it, right? Mm-hmm. And they kind of smile, but they get on it. And they understand I'm passing a message, but they do not say that back.
Right. And they know that means they need to read the book.
And this is what I was called. My parents are mad.
Oh, really?
Oh, God, yeah. Listen. When you screwed up bad, and like sometimes if you hear your full name, right? But more my dad. It'd be my dad. And
in like what kind of context?
You really, put it this way, the situation, he would say this word, which I would not repeat on the radio, but you knew you were in trouble, there's no wiggle room. Typically, it was a situation where he was not there to witness it, but you messed up bad enough, either the school called him or my mother called him or my mother told him when he got home. And man, I mean, like, Your bedroom door flew open, and that was the first word that came out of his mouth. And it was like, and you just knew it was bad. But I couldn't say it.
Random.
Yeah, like my dad would talk about every morning the 3 S's, right?
Shower, shave, and yeah.
Right. So he said it every morning, but right, like we couldn't say it.
No.
Even though they say these things constantly, we're like, is it cool if I say it? Like, no, it's not. Hello, Chrissy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola. Chrissy, welcome to the program. Random question. All right.
Ask me the sober question.
What was that now?
Ask me the sober question.
You want a sober question?
Ask me the sober question. Am I sober?
Oh,
I would go with no.
I don't think you are. If you're asking us to ask you, I would guess no.
I am not at all.
Okay. What time did you start?
About 8:30 this morning.
Okay.
Good. What did you start with?
Malt liquors.
Malt liquor.
All right. Good times.
Why did you, I'm just curious, malt liquor, and look, I'm all about morning drinking, but malt liquor probably wouldn't be my choice. Why malt liquor? Is that just your go-to?
Because it's cheap.
Oh.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's get deep, just in case you have...
You're going to get deep?
Yeah, in case you have a few more. When was the last time that you cried, and what did you cry about?
Oh, my God. Seriously?
Yeah.
This is seriously the question you're
Oh,
asking?
wow, that was quick and easy, wasn't it?
Men's Room callers, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
Happy Monday.
Drinking since 8:30.
Mother.
It's like opening the door.
Dropping it right now
away.
back to the program.
Ask me the sober question. It's like, oh, man.
All right.
Sorry, she's on hold. I'm not going to go back to her right now. If she's still there a little bit later, I'll check her back, but I just feel like maybe we should move on.
Just for a second, yeah.
Last time you cried?
Last time you cried, yeah.
Oh, man.
It's a weird question. I was trying to rack my brain about it. I was thinking, I had a buddy pass away. I think that kind of got me a little bit earlier this year. But
I mean, I've had like a tear in the eye because I was proud of my son. But like last time I like cried.
I'm telling you, man.
I honestly don't know.
When I got that hemorrhoidectomy, I cried. I mean, I cried. Like, I mean, I had tears running down my face that I couldn't stop. Like, I've never been in so much pain. I've got a pretty high tolerance for pain. Half the time I'm just in shock.
But this is exposed butthole. I mean, this is entirely different.
Next level pain.
I really thought to myself, I don't think as an adult that I have ever cried in pain before.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like half the time if you get in a car wreck or something, the adrenaline's going, you might be in a lot of pain, but
I mean,
you
you
realize
yell
it.
expletives, right, but
You
you're
know what
not
I'm saying?
crying.
It's not terrible.
So being that you are, as far as adults go, the only adult I know that has cried as an adult because of just sheer pain, right? What's worse, right? Like you're crying because you got awful news, or crying because your butt's stinging.
I'll take the butt stinging every time.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because if you're gonna cry over bad news, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? It's like I'd rather just deal with the physical pain.
It's really bad news. You're crying.
Yeah, exactly. Like somebody's probably dead. You know what I mean? So I'd rather be alive with a sore butt than know that somebody that I care about enough to cry is not around anymore. But the reason we asked when was the last time he cried, a truck hauling crates of whiskey through Missouri spilled thousands of bottles onto a highway after overturning early Wednesday. The truck was carrying 40,000 pounds. That's about 12,000 bottles of Templeton Rye whiskey. When it rolled over at 5 a.m. on U.S. Highway 71 near the Arkansas border, no one was injured. However, the photos of the wreckage, they're enough to make you cry. They showed a shredded tractor trailer. Thousands of bottles of the 80-proof spirit were broken and strewn across the highway in a nearby ditch. It makes you wonder what else can go wrong in 2020. And from Templeton Rye co-founder Keith Kirchhoff, he said, "Thank God, though, that nobody got hurt." The 4-year-old whiskey was shipped from a distributor in Iowa, basically where the home of rye whiskey is for the most part in the United States. When you think of Kentucky bourbon or you think of Tennessee whiskey, Iowa seems to hold the market on some of the better ryes out there. Shipment was a full truck with a retail value of, any idea there, Mike Hawk? 40,000 pounds, 12,000 of bottles of Templeton Rye whiskey. What's the retail value? Survey says
no idea.
$325,000, considering a total loss. They said that maybe a case or two was not being able to be salvaged, but other than that.
Why is it always a beer truck or a whiskey truck? You never hear like a truck carrying V8 or a truck carrying Clamato. You know what I mean? Like It's always something.
Because they don't fill the whole truck with that. There's not that much of a demand.
And why is it when it's beer, it's always bottles? Like
Right,
bottles
never-
got crushed. Like, could it have been a keg truck? I bet the kegs would have been okay.
There's probably some kegs on there for sure.
Yeah.
Random.
Hello, Sean. Welcome to the men's room.
Boo! Sean, what's happening? Welcome to the random question. Let's see here, Sean. What do we got for you? All
I
right.
got a question for Thrill real quick.
Oh, boy.
You gonna go look for that Cinnamon Toast Crunch Creamer I sent?
I am. I'm looking at the picture, and I'm like, that is right up my alley. In fact, I made coffee today. May have added some other things inside of that coffee, but it's not the same.
That's fact.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch Creamer. I mean, that just sounds good.
It does. The problem is, honest to God, I would drink much more coffee than I already do. And I probably drink like a cup and a half a morning. But if I had that stuff, and that's my excuse, then I'm drinking 3 or 4 cups every day.
All right.
I like it.
Hopefully this won't make you cuss out loud, but we're going to go with this one. What did your ex do anytime you've dated someone after you broke up?
Nothing really, because I didn't talk to them.
So you've always made a clean break. You never had like a
flaming pile of dog ass on the front porch, or
a punctured tire, anything like that?
Yeah. Nope. I didn't have anything crazy go on after a breakup.
You know what, man? That means you obviously go out with people who are understanding about the situation to some degree.
You need to date crazier people. Like, everyone needs the horror story of like,
really?
man, oh man, we broke up, and then, got it.
Let's hit the fan.
Yeah, that's a fact. Well, the reason we asked, what did your ex do after you broke up? This is a pretty crazy story, but it's not a bad story in a bad way. It's typical Australian. A man in Australia put up posters around the town asking people to then phone his ex-girlfriend and pretend to be Chewbacca. He claimed the person who gave him the best impression would win $100 in an incentive to get people phoning up and shouting, "Arrgh!"
That is not a good Chewbacca.
Jessica says, I'm getting phone calls at really strange hours of the night, about 1 o'clock, about 4 o'clock in the morning. I thought it was quite funny, actually. I thought it was a good joke, she said. She ended the relationship when she claimed to have found her ex messaging other women on Facebook. Despite being able to see the funny side, she said some of the phone calls had come in the middle of the night, which woke up her children. At first, I thought when we first met he was mature, but it just goes to show having a job doesn't mean you're mature. It hurts my feelings. She said that as well as carrying out the Chewbacca prank, her ex had dumped a car with no wheels in her driveway, which she couldn't get rid of.
Oh, man.
Police got in contact with me, and finally we're going to do something about it. If people want to continue phoning with their impression of a Wookiee, Jessica says she's ready for it. She said, just pull it, the posters down. Have a laugh on me, and if you want to make a phone call, go for it. I don't mind it. Bring it on, as long as it's not at 3 a.m. in the morning.
You do a horrible Chewbacca, by the way.
Well, yours is better than mine. You practice.
I know it's better than... I don't practice my Chewbacca.
Well, give me the Chewbacca again. I can't roll my R's.
No, you're Chewbacca with a problem.
Part of the Chewbacca roar is being able to roll your R's.
He's much like...
And I can't... Yeah, I'm serious. I can't do it. Yeah.
I can roll my R. I'm a suave Wookiee.
See, you got it. Now you sound like a weird bird. More of the random question coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
So I just left the house to go pick up my kids, and 10 minutes later, I got a motion alert from Ring. My alarm was going off. I open up my app, and there's this guy running out the front door. I didn't know who he was. Before I could do anything, I got a call from Ring.
This is Jordan with Ring Alarm Monitoring. I'll send the police right over.
My name's Nadine, and Ring helped save my house from a break-in.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/safety. That's ring.com/safety.
Stop overpaying for sunglasses and try Shady Rays. Shady Rays are high-quality, polarized sunglasses for a fraction of the price of the big-name brands, and they're all guaranteed for life. If you lose or break your pair of Shady Rays, we'll replace them no matter what happens. We have over 50,000 five-star reviews and offer completely free returns and exchanges, so you're guaranteed to love them or pay nothing. Go to shadyrays.com and use code RADIO for 50% off 2 or more pairs.
The men's room is in progress. 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle.
It's hot. Still got to wear a mask. KISW face mask, very breathable and stylish. And a portion of each mask sold goes to our friends at the Washington State Nurses Association. I'm not kidding you. At least 4 or 5 compliments on the mask. The people that you don't think are going to compliment this mask are the people that do.
Always.
I'm telling you, like you could be at a counter at a 7-Eleven and there's an old lady behind you and you turn around. She's like, I really like your mask. And I thought I was going to scare the living hell out of you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Pick up yours today at KISW.com. No mask, no service in Washington State. All right, it is our random question. Question 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Rob. Welcome to the men's room.
How's it going?
Hola! Rob, welcome to the program, the random question. Okay, let's go with this one. Rob, what would you say about you looks different from other people?
Looks different?
Yeah. Maybe you got a jacked finger. Maybe your eyes are beady. Maybe you're me and got 80% of your face is your nose. What about you is different?
Well, a couple different things.
All
I do have a jacked finger. I broke it in 4 places, 4 different times. And I've also took a piece of shrapnel to my left eye, so I've got a nice little dark spot next to my pupil.
Is it so it's inside of your eye?
It was. They had to drill it out and everything else like that. It's not there anymore.
Okay, so what you're seeing is you're seeing the hole where the shrapnel was. In other words, there's not a chance that the shrapnel could still work its way out of your eyeball, right?
No, not anymore. Yeah,
okay, that would be something.
Is it something I would immediately know? If we were just talking to each other, would I have a hard time not noticing your dark spot in your eye?
Well, it depends on how lovingly you look into my eye.
Oh, it's going to be loving, Rob. It is going to be loving.
What was going on, man, where that happened to you? I mean, typically, safety goggles are in effect.
You know that construction site down near I-5 by the Tacoma Dome?
Okay.
I was driving by there with my window open, smoking a cigarette, and something came flying off the road right into the face.
Oh, you are kidding me. What did you do? Did you just, you can't pull over in there because there's a Jersey wall in between it. So the lanes are, 6 deep on each side there. There's no place to pull over. What did you do?
Well, at the time, it was only 3 lanes deep. But, yeah, no, I just covered my eye with my left hand. I pulled off to the exit there near the casino, went into the bathroom at the little gas station, washed my face out, and went on about my day for a couple of days. And then all of a sudden, my vision started getting blurry. I was like, all right, it's time to go see a doctor.
And what was the recovery like? Did you have to, what do you do?
Did you get the Reno special?
Oh, come on!
2 F's in 1 hour. All right.
Words you can't say on the radio.
3
Three dumps. Everybody's cursed.
Sucker, mother, and
this heat.
Please keep those words in mind when calling.
This heat's good to be.
Now back to the program.
Golly. All right, people, we know you're excited and happy the sun's here, but geez, a whiz.
Stop cursing.
I got a buddy who's got he's got a blue eye and a brown eye.
Has he always had that?
Looks like that weird shepherd dog.
Yeah.
It's so weird though. Because sometimes the blue eye gets bluer, so it gets like a real deep blue, and you're looking at him like, man, Rick, you are weird looking. Like it's distracting.
Is he weird around sheep?
No, it's distracting looking. You know what I mean?
Mouth start watering.
His eyes.
Does he run in circles?
He's got that Maryland thing going on where your eyes are a little bit close together on white guys. You know what I mean? And then he's got the blue so they're real close. So it's just like
What did chicks dig it? Is it like a...
Well, he was married. He had kids and everything.
A chick dug it.
I guess somebody got past it.
Eyes are weird, too. There's a soccer player I like. He plays for Arsenal, but his eyes, they're too far apart.
Too far apart?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you see him, it takes you a second to be like, oh.
That's what it is. Yeah, because you realize, they look like a slee stack. Or,
right.
You know what I mean?
And you don't want to be mean, but I don't want to say this person is, but I met this dude years ago, and real nice guy. We finish our conversation, maybe a 20-minute conversation. He wanders off, and I look at the guy next to me, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm just curious. And they said, yes, their eyes seemed very far apart to me.
Yeah, people who have those sometimes that are just, I don't know, kind of. I'm writing something down for Ted right now.
Yeah, I didn't get the acronym.
I'll give you that much of it. The reason we asked, what about you looks different? A rare blue lobster has received a reprieve after a restaurant sent it to an Ohio zoo for conservation instead of consumption. This is bizarre. This is in Akron, Ohio. The Akron Zoo and their Facebook post on Sunday said a Red Lobster employee found a blue lobster in a delivery to their eatery. About 1 out of every 2 million lobsters is blue, according to the zoo. The blue shell is due to a genetic anomaly. Either way, Is there no quality control? Like, if I'm in the lobster field, right, and I'm packing up
Lobster
lobsters,
field?
if I'm boxing like 20 lobsters.
You're a lobster farmer?
I'm counting them. I'm putting them in a box, right? I got 20 lobsters in a box. How the hell do I not know one's blue? Am I like the only color blind guy on the
only color guy?
I don't know. Assembly
know.
line? You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
I don't think you are.
I mean, because if it's only 1 in 2 million,
I don't think he cares.
I could hire somebody who's colorblind. It'd be all right.
But I don't think he cares.
All
I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
because maybe he doesn't know they're going to Red Lobster. Anywhere else where they have the lobster in the tank, you could have the blue one. But I mean, it's called Red Lobster. So
Sure.
the last thing that Red Lobster can sell you is a blue lobster.
So the
But does Red Lobster, do they have tanks there? Or do you just get lobster dishes?
No, you get lobster dishes, bro.
All right.
I don't know that I've ever seen a live lobster.
I've got a
Red
trivia
Lobster.
question for you here.
All right.
Okay, you guys ready to answer this now? The zoo named the lobster after the Red Lobster restaurant mascot's name. All right.
Okay, so what is the name of the lobster?
What is the name
Oh.
of the mascot at Red Lobster? Because they
hang on.
named the actual lobster the name of the Red Lobster mascot.
It's going to be something stupid. It's
That
gonna be
is
something
correct.
I got it.
What is it?
It's Larry the Lobster.
It's not Larry the Lobster.
Damn it!
It's going to be something like Shelly or
Exactly. That's exactly how.
That's
it
what I'm
plays into
saying,
it.
'cause
That's
that's
exactly
what
what it
people
is.
do.
Yeah.
It is Shelley?
Crusty, something like that. No, it's
Krusty. It's my restaurant, man. I'm
Yeah, but
not
it's-
naming
but
my
it's-
mascot Krusty.
Krusty.
Damn.
Krusty the lobster. No, the lobster's name is Claude. Get it?
Oh,
Claude.
Okay.
Claude.
Yeah.
All right. I still think they should have gone with Larry.
Claude is acclimating to his new
Krusty.
home at the Akron Zoo in a special tank that has been dubbed Claude's Man Cave. The zoo said Claude is housed in their Komodo Kingdom building, which is currently closed to the public because of the pandemic. And while the discovery is very rare, it's far from the first time a, quote, colored lobster has been discovered.
That is not what they said.
That's exactly what
Oh,
they
my
said.
God.
In May 2019, a Massachusetts restaurant found a blue lobster in the shipment and sent it to a local aquarium. A few months later, a fisherman in Maine caught a rare cotton candy colored lobster not once but twice. And just a month later, another fisherman in the area caught a two-toned red and black lobster and won a 1 in 50 million fine.
What, a 50 million?
1 in 50 million, yes.
Mixed kid, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy.
Random.
I guess they're very colorful. I wonder if they taste any better. I guess you never know because they save them all.
That is the problem. I'd like to, and it sounds mean, I would like to try the blue lobster.
In Japan, you know they're eating them right away.
Oh, hell yeah.
I thought the blue lobster meant it was super old and maybe not the best meat.
No, but they said this is a genetic
mutation.
anomaly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's just a freak.
Right. He did the freaky diggy.
Oh, get in here.
See, I would go to that restaurant. Welcome to Freaky Lobster. Yeah.
Is Freaky good?
You'll find out. Hello, Carrie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Carrie, welcome to the program, the random question. Okay, Carrie, let's go with this one, all right? Who or what in your mind has ruined your name? Is there anything out there that has ruined your name?
You're asking Carrie.
Carrie.
Probably the Stephen King movie.
Yeah, I was
All
going to say,
right.
you're asking Carrie.
Yes, that's exactly why I'm asking Carrie.
But you know what? To be fair, Carrie, she was, and yes, she's nuts and she's terrifying, but she was a sympathetic character. Like, you didn't hate Carrie.
I've totally done Kids on a Bike down.
Okay, let me ask you this. When you went to your prom in high school.
Oh, God.
Was that a little bit weird? I mean, I don't know if I would want to go to a prom with a woman named Carrie.
Because dumping pig blood, and I know this is a ridiculous statement I'm about to make to you, but if you're going to dump pig blood on anyone at a prom, it has to be someone named Carrie.
Exactly, but not John Travolta going.
Okay. How about any rhymes or riddles with your name? Like, you know, kids teasing you growing up, like Carrie, quite contrary, shave that thing. It's so. You know, like, is there anything like that?
Mary, quite contrary.
Oh, it's Mary, my bad.
You're right, Miles. Come on, let's do
I don't know. I'm just trying to think what I come up with.
Shave that thing. It's
so.
No, but I own it. I'll do it.
All right. Okay. Well, that's not the worst thing in the world. You're right. Carrie's not bad.
I mean, it's not great.
Well, it's
not great,
but with names like as far as famous people. So you have Carrie Fisher.
Sure.
Most people love Carrie Fisher. You know what I mean?
But you always say Carrie Fisher.
Yeah,
you
but
don't
she's
just
still
say
a Carrie.
If you just say Carrie, it's the movie.
Yeah.
It's Sissy Spacek covered in blood and she loses her mind. Carrie Fisher's, who else?
And if like she was a prostitute.
Wasn't Carrie the name of one of the characters on Sex and the City?
Maybe.
I think so.
Was there Carrie Underwood? Is that her name?
Carrie Underwood.
Carrie
She's
Underwood.
She's
pretty
beautiful.
All right.
If you're a prostitute, you could be shopping Carrie. Like the grocery store. But
Cash
for the
and
most
carry,
part,
yeah.
for the most part, there's no negative connotations to Carrie. You're like, I don't know.
I mean, other than the movie. I mean, again,
Right.
she's a sympathetic character, but it doesn't conjure up happy thoughts. And like for Miles, you have Miles Davis, right? And people go, oh man, that's cool. That's great. He was the biggest D on earth.
He was.
Fantastic music. This is a dude would sell out an arena, and when he went out to play for it, he would turn his back on it.
I don't know what was up with the 70s, too, but there's always like this historical thing about ships and coming to America and all this crap. It was always like you always knew the Nina, the Pinna, and the Santa Maria and all the explorers, all this. And anytime I met somebody who was old and Italian, they'd be like, Miles Standish, who was an explorer. And that was the first time. I mean, that was the only Miles, other than Miles Davis, that was popular. So it was
In
either
my
Miles
family,
Davis
it's Miles Davis.
It's either Miles Davis or Miles Standish.
Yeah, whatever
one's an
the
Italian
break was.
explorer, one's, a jazz guy. Reason we asked who or what ruined your name, just the hits keep on coming. I'll give you the headline. 200-plus firefighters respond to a Karen fire burning in Jurupa Valley. A wildland fire broke out on Saturday afternoon, leading to a response of more than 200 firefighters. The fire grew from approximately 5 to 10 acres to 250 acres in about 6 hours. Containment at last check was about 50%, according to the San Bernardino County Fire Department. Basically, the avenue and area between Armstrong and the San Bernardino County line has been absolutely closed. Fire was reported after 3 o'clock on Karen Lane. Giving it the name the Karen Fire.
I thought it was a fire that said, I have the right to burn the forest.
If there was just one more thing, you get a land fire named after you.
Random.
Karen's got to be like, man, this 2020 is killing me. It is killing me.
I know a Karen. We call her Dizzle, as it were, but I know a Karen, and she's not loving this.
No, anytime anyone wants to see your ID, they're smirking now.
Just as a guarantee.
Is she going to be a Karen?
Right. Oh,
They are,
Karen.
but there's so much of it now. I feel like it's almost kind of getting to that point where it's like jumping the shark.
Yeah.
It is, but the problem is if your name's Karen, you're still, for the rest of your life, you'll at least get the, oh, Karen.
Right, it's some names too. like with Carrie. It wasn't anything bad, but you're right. You're always going to think about the movie.
Right, 'cause
or it's
she's-
like the beer truck guy. When you see him, you just got to fight the urge to be like,
Say it. Go ahead, say the joke.
right? What's it like? Just let one off or something?
You're going to steal the truck. Hey,
I'm
you
gonna
got
steal
one
the
in there
truck.
for me?
Yeah.
Oh.
I know. Sometimes when you're halfway through a bad joke, you're like, I shouldn't say this.
Like, I'm going to apologize in advance, but I have to say it. Hello, Hop Sing. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, puntas.
Hola.
Hop Sing, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, let's see what we got for you.
Hey, real quick for a thing for thrill.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd talk to or meet somebody that had such a hatred for dill pickles as myself. So good on you, brother.
And bro, look,
Okay.
I only hate dill pickles because I've tasted them.
I think they're great.
I'm
gonna
sure
go get
they're
one
nice.
right now. We're talking about.
Mike,
it.
They
I
are
dumped you.
disgusting.
Yeah, Mike's pissed. now.
Somebody said, "How do we take a cucumber and make it worse?" So
All right.
hold my beer. I got a pickle.
Okay, Hop Sing. I can actually eat a lot of pickles if they're sliced
Hey,
up.
treat this man with respect.
What can you eat a lot of? Like, what could you just sit down, man, and if it's there, you're just going to house as much of it as you humanly could? Like a cheat
I'd
day, like
say
if you
meatballs
worked
and
out.
marinara. Some pasta within there too, but I'll ignore the pasta and just chow on the meatball.
Oh, okay.
All right, so how many meatballs could you eat at one setting?
Let's say they're standard marble plus size. I'd say, I don't know, about 18.
All right.
That'll give you the meat farts, brother.
And do you like it any other way? I mean, what if I put a barbecue sauce in there instead of a regular marinara or anything? Is there any other way you like your meatballs? Do you like them IKEA
I'd
style?
eat it, but I prefer the marinara.
All right, because IKEA makes pretty good meatballs.
They make very good
Every time you
meatballs.
go in there, you're like, oh yeah, I forget the meatballs are made like this. Because
I'll have a good Alfredo meatball. That's a good thing too.
How often do you have
I've
that?
never had
though?
an Alfredo meatball.
No, he's right, but it does not happen much. But when you do eat it, you'll say, man, I need to eat this again. That's what I said probably 17 years ago. Last time I had it.
An Alfredo meatball.
Yeah.
Which is different because typically meatballs are cooked in the sauce.
Right.
I feel like meatballs, especially if you're just like making a crock pot of them, they're either in marinara or they're in like a sweet and sour.
Okay. I haven't done the sweet and sour meatballs.
You should check
You
out
know, I
this,
shouldn't say that for everybody. That's obviously the only two ways I exclusively
Right.
make them at my house.
Now, the sweet and sour overpowers the taste of the actual meat. So then you just eat.
I agree with
All
you.
right, now let me ask you this. If you were to make a meatball, are you beef or are you pork? Are you beef and pork? I personally would say beef, pork, and lamb. Tremendous tour de force of meatball.
That or veal if you can get it.
But But I mean,
I would do beef cork veal, but often veal's not available or in my price range, so I definitely would do beef and pork.
Well, Seattle's an anti-veal place. I mean, you got to understand
Right.
that. I mean, when you think about that.
But it's expensive, too.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
man.
I mean, you got to get it at a nice restaurant or whatever, but I typically don't see it out there. I did see a video, and it's this girl, and she's down in, Jolly Joe sent it to me. She's down in Australia, and she did a challenge. I guess she does a food challenge. And this little tiny girl, little blonde-haired girl gets up there, and she does a food challenge every week, and she films it. And I mean, she can't weigh more than 120 pounds.
Right.
She's like, today I'm going to eat 17 Whoppers from Burger King. And she's got them on a plate. And she housed 17 of these things in 17 minutes.
You talking about Katina?
Is that her name?
I think so. She's from Spokane.
Oh, this is a girl in Australia. So she's got an Australian accent.
There's like a Katina or whatever eats kilos. I've been watching her.
It seems to me like
You've
she's
told
just
me about
doing
her.
this as like a YouTube thing. Like, I'm just going to show you guys how much I can eat. And she plowed down 17 Whopper
17
teas.
Whoppers.
But the reason we asked, what can you eat a lot of? This is good news. A study out of England found that you can eat an insane amount of calories once in a while, and it will not cause you any long-term health problems or make you gain a lot of weight. Our findings show the body actually copes remarkably well when faced with a massive and sudden calorie excess. So in other words, if you eat reasonably during the week, and once a week, if you want to just go for it on whatever you want to get 2-3 plates or whatever, it's good. The body, healthy humans can eat twice as much as full and deal effectively with the huge initial energy surplus. They even found our bodies do a pretty good job of handling all the extra sugar and fat and using it efficiently and starting to burn it off. But that magic stops working if you're doing that too often. Quote, overeating, you can't do it every day, adds more stored energy to the body in the form of fat. But they can say, like, I mean, obviously The Rock works.
Stored energy. I like that. I ain't fat. I got a lot of stored
Some of
energy,
these
bro.
competitive eaters. Like that girl I'm talking about. She's she's in the Air Force.
Okay.
You know what I mean? She's like, well, I know she's 29. She just had her birthday. But like,
why do you know so much about her?
Yeah, I was wondering that. Is she attractive?
Yeah. I mean, I just got into it, so it's just interesting.
Okay.
But same thing. She's just a tiny little blonde woman that just houses meals.
What is her specialty?
Whatever you got. But you could tell she is so ripped. Like everything's just turned into muscle.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, she ate that giant steak in Texas.
Her.
The only,
okay.
The only one that beat her is this legendary burger one somewhere in the state of Washington. But the pound or the bun itself weighed like 6 pounds or something crazy.
God, that's amazing.
For you, Miles, I'm guessing chicken wings.
Chicken wings,
as far as
clams.
Yeah.
Steamed shrimp.
I was about to say shrimp is a huge one for me.
Those are my big ones.
I would do blue
obviously,
crabs.
I could pick at that all
I will
day.
eat them until I cannot eat them anymore.
You just don't realize that by the time you're done picking them, it might take 3 hours. You have a pretty decent-sized pile, but it might be the equivalent of 2 crab cakes.
Yeah, it ain't a whole lot of meat.
It's not like it's
It's more labor than product.
It takes so long you never get full.
Maybe that's what it
It's
is.
just like you're so thirsty because all the salt. More of the random question coming up. 206-421-ROCK.
I was at home and I get this call from Ring.
We just received a fire alarm. All okay?
My fire alarm in our cottage was going off. And then it hit me. My parents are at the cottage. The fire had started in the chimney and spread to the roof. Ring Alarm Professional Monitoring dispatched the fire department before we even could dial 911. My name is Kevin, and Ring Alarm helped save our family cottage.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/Odyssey. That's ring.com/Odyssey.